There's some Revelator songs that I'm like, man, we got to bring those back. But we've done so many songs and albums. There's like so much to choose from that I guess we don't think about it all the time.
We need to get you a really good slide player in Nashville, and you guys need to cover a Derek Truck song.
You know, he told me Susan wrote the song, which he was proud of. He said that with great pride, you know, the way you say nice things about your family.
From the first note with Tedeschi trucks, they just blow you away.
Yes, we will. I wouldn't argue with anyone that says that could be my favorite song on I Am the Moon.
He, signs my ticket, and I look over at Susan. I say, Susan, would you sign it too? And she goes, oh, heck yeah.
Kevin calls me and was like, hey, man, what are you doing? I was like, nothing. He was like, Derek wants to record some tuba stuff. I said, when do you want to do it? And he was like, let's do it Wednesday.
It was Midnight Harlem. And it caught our attention, man. And we started diving deep, and we're like, okay, we got to see these guys.
What's up? Welcome to the unofficial Tedeschi Trucks podcast. This is episode number 174, and I am Adam Choit. To follow the show, it's at Tedeschi Trucks Podcast on Instagram and on YouTube. Just search Tedeschi Trucks Podcast. If you're watching, you're already there, so please be sure to subscribe, give the show likes, shares, comments. That's all definitely appreciated. Definitely also subscribe on whatever platform you listen to podcasts on. I appreciate that too. We're on Odyssey, iHeartRadio now as well, if you listen on those platforms. Patreon.com/TTB podcast. If you'd like to support, that's definitely appreciated for sure. At the second two tiers, a portion of your contribution will get donated to the Mr. Holland's Opus Foundation, supporting the Kofi Burbridge Music Matters Fund, which helps bring music education and instruments into the hands of kids. Definitely check that out. Patreon.com/TTB podcast. Thank you for your support, Kathleen, Stacy, Troy, Daniel, Mariah, and Marion. If you'd like to get a shout out, you can support at any tier. But today we are recapping, what do we got here? Beacon, Brooklyn, a couple of other shows in the city as well with the B part of TTB. So we'll get into all of it. We got Andrew returning. We got Randy returning. We might have Daniel coming in a little bit too. But let's bring him in. Let's talk these New York shows. What's up, y'all?
Hey,
we're back.
How's it going?
We're back. We're back on the road. We're back doing shows. Covering the band. How are you, Randy? And where? We'll start with you. How are you, and where are you, Randy?
I'm sorry. What was that?
I said, how are you, and where are you?
How am I? I'm sorry. I'm having a hard time hearing you, Adam.
Oh, I'm sorry. Maybe we'll go to Andrew first.
I'm gonna come back in a second. All right.
Yeah, do it. We'll go to Andrew first. How are you, and where are you?
How's it going? I'm good. I'm back in Chicago.
So you flew in. You drove. You flew in
Flew in Tuesday, and then went to the two shows, Tuesday, Wednesday at the Beacon, and then flew back today. Just got back a couple hours ago.
So okay, so you spent some time in New York City as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so you made a trip out of it that kind of centered around TTB.
Yeah, my wife and I do this. We lived there for like 10 years on the Upper West Side, so we always we've been in Chicago now for about 3 years. So we kind of made it a thing where it's like our anniversary trip. Just so happens to be October-ish, early October. So TTB usually plays the Beacon, so it's kind of like, okay, whenever they're playing, end of September, early October, that'll be the time we go back and see friends and stuff. So yeah, it works out good.
I think you said she's a big fan too, but not as crazy as you. Did I remember that correctly?
I think she's getting crazier.
Getting crazier than what? When we got to get her on? We got to get the Shy Wives podcast episode.
Yeah, right. Yeah, she'll be on
or Shy Husbands sometimes too.
Yeah, right. Nice. Yeah, she'll be on the next
Shy
one.
Spouses. What's that?
There you go. Nice.
Yeah, tell me about her fam. I'm kind of curious, like what makes her becoming crazier than you? Like who discovered the band first and all that?
I knew the band first, and then I think it was just the more that we would go together, and then the more she listened, I found out, she was just she's the one telling me before, like they just announced their tickets, like she knows, like, and I was like, oh wow, I didn't even know. She'll buy the tickets before I even, have a chance to we're like discussing it. So she's just like, she's gung ho. She plans it all. She loves it. And she loves, Susan, Alicia, like all the women, huge. And just big fan.
You know what's I think different about this band? Maybe it's just my personal experience, is that even like we're hardcore fans, but our fandom like has grown even like beyond our own expectations. Like if our fandom started at a 6 and became a 7, 8, 9, 10, it like keeps going up like from there. And you can't say that about like even like these legendary bands that we all love from the past, these classic rock, blues band, whatever it is. Like, maybe you don't love every single album that they do, or like there's some eras you don't love as much, or songs or albums, or you're not as excited about them. And your fandom doesn't even necessarily wane. It's just kind of like, it plateaus. It is what it is. I love Led Zeppelin, Allman Brothers, whatever. But with this band, it's like you can love the band a 10 out of 10, but like wait till you see them next time. Wait till you hear what they're working on now. Wait till you hear that next cover that they're debuting. You're gonna like the love for them it keeps getting deeper and deeper for all of us, whether we've been following them for 10 years, 5 years, 2 months, or since Derek was a teenager. Like
exactly. And it's becoming a huge just community of people too. So when you very few bands that we'll go travel to just to see them, but this is one of them where we know when we're going, it's going to be like, a family affair. We're going to see people we know from other shows, and it just becomes a whole community. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Speaking of family, Randy is at his son's Little League game, and that's probably why the field where his little location, I guess, does not have the best reception. And the pitcher, from what I gather, is not throwing very many many strikes. So it may be a while before Randy is around better reception. But speaking of baseball, I did want to mention that, like, congrats to, of course, my New York Mets for making the playoffs earlier today, but also to Derek's Atlanta Braves for beating the Mets in the second game of the series. They probably were watching that game. I was even wondering for a second if they were going to zoom, back down to Atlanta for a couple of games. And
are
they private jet people? Sometimes.
I bet they know people. I feel like I don't see them doing that, but I think they know people. They would do it if they had to. Yeah.
Right. I don't think they're not like going. It's probably something that they're doing all the time, to go everywhere, to go to every random fun trivial thing they can get. But no, they you have that in the back pocket, I get,
for sure. Yeah.
Plus, it is possible, especially, maybe I should say especially Susan, but for both of them. But they're fairly environmentally conscious like that. From what I gather, these private jets are not the most fuel efficient ways to travel.
Right.
But it's for the playoffs, so I would understand
for sure. Yeah.
On the private jet.
Yeah.
For that.
We let it fly that time. Yeah. Yeah. Go Mets. Now that the Cubs are done, obviously it's been a minute for that, but go Mets for sure.
So tell me, I mean, we can get into this. I see Randy's trying. He's fighting the reception, but I guess we'll get into it. Tell me about the shows and the vibe arriving. It was, what was it? Thursday.
Tuesday, Wednesday with Beacon.
Wednesday, midweek shows.
Yeah, kind of interesting for Beacon to be on Tuesday, Wednesday, but it was cloudy, rained the whole time. I think it was sunny today when we were leaving. Was the first time that we saw the sun the whole week we were there. But the vibe was it was huge. I think this was the most, it felt the most similar to, for me anyway, like when the classic kind of run that they would do before the MSG show. I know everyone was bummed that they didn't do the Beacon run. And they came in March, and we went to those shows as well. But this was the first that kind of felt like, it's fall, it's New York, it's TTB at the Beacon. So vibe was definitely very high.
I mean, I was gonna say, just from looking at like some posts from people in the various groups and online, it seemed like I know personally so many people who were like at these shows, and and did you feel like even maybe more for a midweek vibe? And obviously they're only doing 2 Beacon. I mean, still 4 New York shows with the Brooklyn ones, but maybe even more of a friends and family and hardcore fans vibe
for sure.
Doing the Beacon midweek.
Yeah, that's actually now you say that, a pretty good call. I mean, both shows were sold out, and it was definitely just everyone before the show was hugging everybody. Hey, good to see you. Hey, like we're all here. It was definitely, everyone there was just a hardcore fan going on a Tuesday night.
Right, even more so than the 7-week run, whether
Right.
one of those 7-day runs, 7-show run, whether it was a weekday show then or a weekend show.
Right.
Like I
Yeah,
kind
some of those shows when they would do like 6 or 7, like the Tuesday, Wednesday show, it'd be a little thin up in the balcony, you could tell, and not that it matters, but this was definitely sold out Tuesday night. Yeah, it was good. It was cool.
Yeah, if you don't know the band and you're not necessarily a hardcore fan, and someone's like, "Oh, check out this show. When is it?
Right.
Tuesday night? What? Why?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Tuesday and Wednesday? That's weird." But
Yeah.
then when you get there, it's like all the hardcores are there.
Right. Yeah. It was cool.
These are pretty posters. These are pretty posters.
Yeah.
They pop. The colors.
Yeah, for sure. It's like
art.
Yeah. Susan's telly on the left, and then obviously the SG on the right is what I'm guessing. Yeah, for the left.
Oh, the shape of these
the crown. Yeah, that's got to be Susan's telly, and then that's got to be.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
and I'm sure there's other things in these pictures that I'm not noticing.
Sure.
Let's see here. We can zoom in a little bit. This looks cool.
Yeah.
Great,
very Central Park fall.
Great details.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, super cool.
Yeah, all their posters are pretty damn awesome.
Yeah, this has been a great year. I think every time they post one, I'm like, that's better than the last one. It's like...
I talk about this probably every episode. I wish there was like a digital collage where you can easily see like kind of like all of them.
Right. Yeah.
High res. TTB Museum, they attached to their studio that they're expanding upon. They need to attach a what kind of wall space would you need for like
right,
giant? But you could do them in scaled down, smaller size, I guess. But do they even print them that size? You could print anything, any size.
Right. Yeah. Or you could.
That would be quite an undertaking.
Right. You could even just do that rotating, like this was from this tour. If you had to.
Right, rotating posters, like a museum has different exhibits, rotating exhibits. You could do that with the posters.
That'd be cool.
I mean, how many? What band has the most posters? Is like Grateful Dead? Do they even do? I guess it used to be more flyers than posters, so a little bit smaller. I guess.
Sure. Yeah. I think. Yeah. Who else? I mean, I know like Fish they got
a band that covered like a little bit later era, but still has like a million different shows. Yeah,
right. Yeah,
only imagine how many there are.
Yeah,
Where were you sitting night one?
We were row DD, down in the pit, so it's pretty. We lucked out. There were good seats. There was like third row.
Center, left, right?
To the stage right.
Gotcha.
Yeah, right in front.
Were you blocked by Gabe's keys a little bit?
Oh, sorry, no, we were stage left.
On the
Yeah. Stage left, so we were on the other side. Yeah.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah, it was cool. They were great seats. We sat there both nights too. We did the Let It Ride package. We got a little swag bag. That was cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
What was in there? You sent me a picture of that.
Oh yeah, it was like a little carabiner, kind of like a camping style, like coffee mug, and then just 2 like pins. One of them was like a poker chip pin, and then the guitar pick pin, and then a nice bag. Yeah.
I got it right here.
Oh yeah.
People want to bear with me as I work technological magic up in here. Let me share this. Yeah, so many newer things with the band, with promotions and merch and all kinds of stuff here.
Yeah, I was wondering why. There's a cool venue in Chicago called the Salt Shed. Yeah, there it is. But there's no seating, and I was wondering why. Because it's a cool venue that a lot of like similar bands of fame play at. And this summer when they played the Huntington Bank Pavilion, I was hoping they were going to play the Salt Shed, but there's no seating there. So I wondered, you can't really do these VIP packages, unless you have different tiers of seating, maybe. So I don't know. Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah,
we can get into the set.
Yeah,
if I can find the right show. Which one? This one is it the 24th?
High and Mighty, first one. Yep, that's
High
it.
and Mighty. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll zoom in on this a little bit.
Yeah,
I can read it as well here.
Yeah, this is cool. They had both shows opened with like a B-side, which is cool. High and Mighty, obviously they had that EP that they released with Signs that had High and Mighty on as a B-side. Love that song.
I've been wearing this. It's funny because like if someone I should give credit to was it Eric Lugassi? I think I'm probably mispronouncing that, but I think that's who recorded it for the archive. But I've been wearing this stuff out, right? It's like the show's like 6 days old. I feel like I've listened to Statesboro from the Beacon like 20 times already.
Right.
Like some of these songs.
Yeah.
Stellar stuff though. The Isaac Heavy Jam was cool. I'll let you talk about it. You were there.
Yeah, sure. I mean, there was Isaac Heavy Jam. I mean, this was the drum show for sure. A lot of jamming. It was cool because obviously each set kind of almost mirrored each other in terms of High and Mighty Sister Blues, Ain't That Something? So I Feel So Bad is one of my favorite songs that Derek Trucks Band would do all the time. Isaac Heavy Jam. There was a really cool Brandon bass solo in Let Me Get By. That ended up
right.
Yeah.
I heard. Yeah, right. Yeah, I got to send that to several friends. That was super cool, and then it led into the Derek solo. But yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, that was cool. Yeah, definitely the Isaac Heavy Jam. It was almost like an intro to Let Me Get By too. So
right.
I mean, technically, Let Me Get By was a 13-minute version. If you think about it, which is pretty cool. With the bass solo, yeah. Yes, We Will. Obviously, huge BB King vibe right there. I love that one. And then Idle Wind drums, and that was the first set. And then I mentioned this last time. I feel like there's some songs that you don't expect to see in the same set. And for sure, Idle Wind and Passaquan, I feel like you get one or the other just because they're both, 20-minute jams with drums. So it was cool to the second set.
Right. They've done it a handful of times, but it's so noticeable when they do it. Only like less than single digits times, certainly. I feel like I could be wrong, but that I've seen that. But that is definitely something that stands out as seeing Idle Wind and Passaquan in the same.
It was funny because when they were doing let's start up. So then Tangled Up in Blue. Oh, this was definitely Bob Dylan focus. These two shows, if that was still kind of what we're going with the Deuces Wild theory. The next night I definitely had a few more Bob Dylan tunes, but Tangled Up in Blue. It starts off, and I always think that it's Darling Be Home Soon. It's got a very similar intro with the piano and the drums, so it always fakes me out. But then Sweet Inspiration, that was the first time they played it this year, which is cool.
I think you could be. You're probably right about that, right?
Yeah, I think so. I was trying to do a little research before we started. I think it's the first time this year that they played it, which is cool.
We got Daniel here, I believe. There he is.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hey,
what's up? What's up, dude? How are we doing?
I'm doing well. Sorry, I'm a bit late.
Oh, no worries. As long as you're doing okay. Where are you? Where are you? You went to 2 Beacon and 1 Brooklyn. Is that correct?
No, I'm sorry. I missed the Beacon.
Oh,
completely. But I caught just last night in Brooklyn.
Just the last night in Brooklyn. Well, that's super cool.
Nice.
Yep.
Nonetheless. You know all these songs, and you've been to the Beacon,
yeah, of course.
And you're a fan of this band, from what I gather.
Yeah, the set lists of the Beacon were great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're just diving into it.
We're talking about Tangled Up in Blue.
There's so many things jumping out at me, like, and even just thinking about Idlewind and like, so cool that we're getting Kebby Flute, and we're getting Kebby Flute. We're getting Kebby Flute on a few things. We're getting Kebby Flute on Idlewind. We're getting Kebby Flute on Soul Sweet Song, I think, these days.
Yeah.
And I think we're getting Kebby Flute on Don't Think Twice.
Yep.
We're getting some of the flute as well. So that's definitely an awesome thing. And we're getting Kebby Flute, which I'm sure you can get into more at the brand at the show, the Bitter End show.
Yeah.
With
B
of TTB.
Yeah. Yeah, there were a lot of flute going on there. That was fun. That was a cool show.
I send my sister all these flute videos because she used to play the flute. So anytime TTB stuff or Ian Anderson stuff comes up on my Instagram reels, I'm like, I'm gonna send that.
That's funny. It's
a
probably
cool instrument.
Yeah. This is probably one of the first times where people are like, the flute is so cool now. And she's like, no, it's too late.
Flute and rock is an interesting, and rock and pop is a cool thing. But yeah, this is just a great set list. Susan brings the energy on, got my mojo working for sure every time.
Yeah, that was awesome. And then I Keep on Growing. And then it was during Circles Around the Sun, I saw them bring out the Gibson 335 that Derek plays on Passaquan, and they brought it out, and I was like, "There's no way." I was like, "There's no way they're gonna play Passaquan." We just got all the songs. It's already been, we're 2 hours in. This, we get one more song, maybe not a 20-minute long jam. But that's and then they went into Passaquan, obviously, and did the Mountain Jam right in the middle, which is crazy.
Right, and the favorite things was teased. So Passaquan actually closed out that set. That's a little bit unusual to close out the second set with Passaquan.
Right. Yeah, Idlewind closed out the first one. Passaquan closed out the second one, both with drums. Both huge.
I feel like that normally comes a bit earlier, right?
Right, because it's not
common first set closer.
Right, because it's not it's not an all 12 song, so it's unusual. I feel like to close it out with with close out a second set, but obviously the encore you got Susan gets the stage, gets the attention back. You're reminded of Tedeschi with the I Can't Make You Love Me with Gabe and then of course the Let's Go Get Stoned with all 12.
Yeah, huge.
The Mountain Jam Passaquan that they've been doing a lot this year is one I was really hoping to catch, but unfortunately didn't see it. But I'm sure it was a good time.
Yeah,
they did it with Jamo, right? And
Jamo,
and Hartford
and Bridgeport, I think.
Bridgeport.
Cool.
Yeah. These songs just keep growing and growing, and Derek takes them to new levels in different places. And now we're getting more and more teases, whether it's mountain, the Mountain Jam teases or the favorite things and other things going on in there. It's just like I don't know. It's almost like I want to listen to 2023 or 2022, all these different versions, a year apart, to really see how this song has just grown.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Anything else about this set?
I'm really happy that High and Mighty seems to be, one that they're bringing back into rotation. That was one that we didn't hear for a while, and I really like that song. And they've been playing frequently for the last, month or two.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that one.
Yeah. Fun one.
Yeah.
I think we're starting to see more of their older repertoire come back. It's like the I Am the Moon stuff is not quite so new anymore. So it's really interesting, to see kind of what is going to end up being mainstays in the set list and the kind of stuff that they never really played that much, like Somehow and Rainy Day.
Sure.
Right. I wonder if we'll see a little bit more of those type songs, whether it's new ones that haven't been played as much, newer ones from the I Am the Moon, or even older songs from Revelator or whatever. Because what me and Andrew were talking about before we started recording was, from what we gather, the band is going to take 3-4 months off early next year, get in the studio, get writing, whatever, get at the new renovated place and get going recording. But until then, what aspect of their catalog are they going to focus on? Because you're saying, it seems like they're kind of getting away a little bit from the I Am the Moon songs. But maybe what they're gonna do is get back into some of the more obscure ones, or just
Yeah.
It just evolves slowly sometimes, but it, at the same time, this is a contradiction, but like we keep getting new things, we keep getting rarity, we keep getting things you're getting your sweet and lows back into the fold, you're getting sweet emotions back into sweet inspiration back into the fold. So some songs just like never really disappear, even if they haven't been around.
Right. Yeah. So
while.
I guess this next summer will be the time, because they'll have just finished recording, but obviously it won't come out until, I don't know, fall, maybe early next year, right? They gotta.
Yeah.
So it'll be fun to see what they play next summer.
Yeah.
Right. Sometimes I know there's like contractual things with depending on if they can play songs that are not released yet, or or whatever.
People record it.
Keep the record companies happy.
Yeah. We can move on to the next the next speaking show. Let's see what we got here.
So yeah, another B-side that I love to start the show.
25th. What do we got here? Don't drift away, part of me. I am the moon crying over you little by little. Anyhow, it ain't fair. Dreams. Show me to close out set 1, set 2. Oh, I gotta share it too. I see how this works.
Yeah.
I'm still spitting facts though. That was accurate.
That was accurate. Yep.
And then set 2 is Preaching Blues. I Can Feel You Smiling. Meet Me in the Morning. Don't Think Twice. I Want More. Bex Bolero. Leaving Trunk. The Sky Tease and the Little Martha Tease and Swamp Raga, all leading into Midnight in Harlem. Down in the Flood. Just Won't Burn. Made Up Mind. And Space Captain for the encore. Again, like we keep getting like these like rarities and newer things. Preaching Blues and I Can Feel You Smiling. Like, nobody called that. No one at the show called that. Like, think about all the hardcore fans like yourself who were there at the show. All you guys were in the lobby. Oh, what are they going to start the second set?
Right.
And no one said Preaching Blues and I Can Feel You Smiling. Maybe somebody did say I Can Feel You Smiling, because they have started second sets with like an acoustic. That was an acoustic sit down thing.
It was, yeah.
Just Derek and Susan. They have done once in a while, but maybe I don't know if they've done it this year. Maybe once, twice.
Yeah, I'd have to look it up. It was a cool set because it was Derek and Susan, and then Gabe was out there. It was still a lot of people for an acoustic set. Gabe was out there. Alicia, Mark, and Mike were out there. Like tambourine. Falcon was on like a little cocktail kit behind them, and then Brandon had this huge upright bass. So. But yeah, when they brought all that out,
and that was all for the first 4 those first 4 songs. Preaching Blues, Meet Me in the Morning, Don't Think Twice were all acoustic.
Yeah.
Right. Susan had a cool solo on the Meet Me in the Morning.
Yeah. That was cool.
I like her solos sound cool on the acoustic.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen them do acoustic, which I saw that they did that. I saw a picture of Brandon Boone with the upright bass. So like, that's so cool.
Yeah, it was cool. Yeah, it's funny because that was when you're talking about the teases. Derek definitely teased I Can Feel You Smiling in Part of Me. So it was kind of like, I was like, it's one of those things when it happens in a song like that where you're like, is that? No, he did that. He just did that right now. And then you kind of move on, right? And then you don't really think about it. And then they play it later. It's kind of cool.
Right, that's true. You almost think like he would have left out Part of Me or left out the tease, like the part of the point of the tease is because we can't fit I Can Feel You Smiling into the set. Right. But I know like Clapton sometimes has played both versions of Layla in the same concert, so I guess you can kind of do that.
Yeah, that's for sure one that you want to hear both, right?
I suppose so.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is just a great set. Yeah, I love that those 4 songs in a row. I can see like I've already have been, but like sometimes I'll pick and choose what I'm in the mood for. That's part of the appeal of this band. Their songs and their music can fit any sort of mood you're in. But like that little block right there, that's a nice little cool bluesy, soulful, even of course heartfelt with the, the I Can Feel You Smiling and the Don't Think Twice. You got 2 bluesy ones. You got bluesy. You got melancholy, you got bluesy, and you got kind of melancholy. It's an interesting little back and forth.
And then we had 3 Dylan tunes in this set.
Wow.
Yeah, Meet Me in the Morning, Don't Think Twice, and what was the third one? Oh, Down in the Flood.
Yeah.
Damn.
Right.
Does he ever listen to? Does he ever hear any of these versions? Does he ever listen to it? I'm curious. I doubt it.
What do you mean from the show?
Does Bob Dylan ever listen to Tedeschi Trucks Band covering his songs?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Does someone in his circles ever like, oh, you should listen to this? Listen to what Susan Tedeschi did.
I can't picture him sitting down. Yeah, and like I feel like he's just kind of like in his own world.
Yeah.
I would be surprised. There's an interview I remember seeing not too long ago. Derek talking about meeting Bob Dylan.
Oh, cool.
I think he played with him when he was still young.
He did when he was real young. Yeah.
Susan played with him. I know that.
Yeah,
that's on YouTube.
True.
There's footage of that, but like, I'm always curious. And like, even like Eric Clapton, does he hear like that they're still doing Bell Bottom Blues? You know, fairly often. Does he ever hear these versions? Because like,
I think he does. I've seen him recently like respond to someone did like a viral cover just like on TikTok or something. Someone showed it to him, and he like said something like, great job. So I feel like he does see someone throw him.
Because what Derek and Susan and TTB does with that song and these songs, like it's just as moving as the Derek and the Dominoes album. Like, and I think Eric Clapton and all these other musicians, they know it. They all recognize, the people in the music industry recognize the virtuosity and power of Derek. I can't even help but think of like watching and the Jeff Beck tribute. Like it really seemed, maybe I'm biased, maybe it's just through my TTB colored glasses or whatever. Like it really seemed like they were stealing the show at the Jeff Beck tribute, and even to the point where some of the artists like were a little bit like deferring to Derek and Susan. You could see like I don't know, I could just see things kind of like centered around like, you know, people leaning and looking towards Derek and Susan like to lead the way in some of those like maybe even looser jams at that show. Jeff
Beck's pretty hard to like to cover, so Derek is definitely
that was one of a good thing about the show. No one really tried to do a Jeff Beck impression. Everyone kind of made their songs their own, and it was a lot of it. It felt kind of like a tribute to the music that Jeff Beck loved, which was a good way to go about it, rather than like we're gonna like bring on guitar dudes to try to imitate him note for note.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember when an interview with Derek when he first went on tour with Eric, and Derek was the one that was you should do these Derek and the Domino tunes. You should do a lot more of them. And I think kind of like inspired Eric to start playing them more. Obviously, he would do the Dwayne part. So,
like Derek said, Eric should do more. Derek said Derek
said that Eric should do more Derek and the Dominoes tunes when he like he's like suggested like these are really great tunes. You don't really include them in your set. And I think, so he started playing them more with Derek, which made
I'm not an expert on like the history of what songs like Eric Clapton has played at his shows over the years, but he's got a huge catalog too of recordings. Like, so he could easily I could easily look through an era or set list and like maybe not know a lot of. It's not that they're bad or good, but it's like he's a lot of different eras. Like through the '90s, he's kind of even evolved with some of the sounds over the years somehow, which is just cool and commendable. But TTB, they do them right for sure. This is a great show. Space Captain to close it out. I'm sure you got Great Elizabeth and Derek back and forth. Back to that, of course. That's essential. I keep talking about how like, you know, a lot of these solos and parts and songs could evolve. But the Elizabeth Derek back and forth on Space Captain, that seems pretty locked in.
Yeah, for sure.
Time being, if you played Space Captain and there was no trombone Derek back and forth, I think fans would be you'd be surprised. Maybe, I don't know. I'm sure I say that and then be like, oh, whatever they did instead would be totally amazing and unexpected and be cool. But like,
Yeah.
That's pretty locked in.
Yeah, for sure. That was cool.
I just see the method to the madness with the sets, just the way, you get the Just Won't Burn in between the Down and the Flood, which is, Mike, Derek moment, and then Made Up Mind with all 12 rocking out to close out the set.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of Derek Trucks band played over these 4 shows, seems like.
Yeah.
So maybe that stuff's coming more back into the set lists.
I guess I wonder if how much of it, some of it must just be like a gut feeling, a gut instinct, to like, it's not just like they're not seeing our comments on social media, it's requesting songs and more Derek Trucks band, more of this, more of that. Why don't you cover that? But they probably feel it in their bones, and maybe these songs just come out in a jam or a rehearsal. They're like, oh, we haven't played, whatever in a while. Like the My Favorite Things teases, we haven't. That's like a little bit newer. I think we haven't gotten that all that much until more recently in the last few weeks or so. I think just like these things just come out.
Mm-hmm.
Some of it is obviously Derek, and the band looking at the set list. What did we play last year in this city? What did we play last night? What are we pushing? There's
right,
trying to balance things out. But other times it's probably just like a gut feel, like, oh, we haven't played this in a while. Let's play that, and it'll be fun.
I wonder how much. I mean, you got to include Mike too, like a good amount. So I wonder. I wonder how much he kind of like has to say, and like, there's got to be like, Mike, the songs that you do tonight, because you're gonna do a couple at least. Like, which ones do you want to do? I don't know. Like, I feel like it was Mike's idea to do the Prince ones. I feel like it was.
I'm assuming.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's cool.
I hope that it's in large part just what they feel like playing and what they want to play.
Yeah.
Like, seems like they have fun up there, but it's always hard to tell.
Man, now what a set! Crying Over You. I'm glad that's coming back into the fold. And you got an It Ain't Fair and Dreams. That's just always a show-stopping.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's been a mainstay the whole year.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but yeah, I'm glad that that's part of things for sure. We can get into the Brooklyn show. Neither of you were there, but we could look at the set list.
Yeah,
that was. Let's see here. That was the 27th, right?
Yep.
That's the night one. Brooklyn. King's Theater. How was that play? That's the first time they ever played there, or no?
I think so. I don't know. It was a beautiful, beautiful old theater. Every inch of that place was just ornately decorated. Loved it there.
Yeah, first set, Don't Let Me Slide, Here My Dear, Fall In, Bell Bottom Blues, Why Does Love Gotta Be So Sad, Come and Go Blues, Sweet and Low, Get What You Deserve, Bound for Glory to close out the set. Then set 2, Playing With My Emotions, Joyful Noise, 1999, Soul Sweet Song, Outside Woman Blues, Isaac Kebby Jam, Shame, Take Me As I Am, How Blue Can You Get, Walk on Gilded Splinters, and I Wish I Knew to close it out. And looks like we got some teases and Shame, Love Supreme Part 2, and
so that set list is just extraordinary. That's like my favorite set list of the year, I think.
the latest one.
Yeah.
I know.
Well, I was there the next night, and that was a good time too. But this set list has just got so much good stuff in it. Like the 2 Derek and Domino songs in the first set, and Joyful Noise, Soul Sweet Song, Shame. It sounds like Shame because of the teases. Sounds like it was probably a pretty good extended jam. And I Wish I Knew is one of my favorite songs.
Yeah.
Just looks like an amazing show.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, and to Take Me As I Am, that always is going, especially since they don't play it all that often. That immediately jumps out at me on the set. That to get that again, it's like there's something to like these sets kind of like mirroring each other in a way. Something about Take Me As I Am, and that's kind of like your Sweet and Low, a little bit like kind of a ballad in there.
Sure.
And then Don't Let Me Slide and Playing With My Emotions. Those are originals. There's something to that.
Yep.
Both sets definitely have their peaks and valleys and ebbs and flows and so many different kinds of songs and styles. Like, that's what keeps bringing me back is the fact that like you're getting so much variety.
Yeah. That Prince cover, 1999. I think we talked about it last time I was on, Adam, but it was like I laughed out loud when I looked up the original Prince version of that song because it was like just it's so good, you know, the way that Mike Madison and TTB do it, and it's so different when you hear the original Prince version. It's the '80s pop tune.
Yeah, we'll get into it, but the song they covered the what was it, The Next Night? Where do I got that here? The Prince song.
DMSR.
Yeah. That sounded, I mean, that was definitely a departure, but it sounded a little it was more in the ballpark. They definitely make it their own style, and the rhythm is totally different. It was more of a, I don't know if swing is the right way to describe it, but more of like a swing rhythmy type feel to it versus like the punk or more funkified version of Prince. Very, very cool. I love what Mike's doing with all this stuff.
Yeah.
You posted that video. I think I was watching your video.
Yeah. They opened the second set with that one.
Nice.
Was the dance music sex romance.
Yeah, what
the DMSR stands for.
Right. Oh, here it is. I was looking at the wrong setup because that started set 2.
Yeah, but Take Me As I Am, definitely, and then that's a rarity nowadays, right? Play that.
Yeah, no, it's been rare. But for the fourth night here, you had Learn How to Love Anyhow, Life is Crazy, Done Somebody Wrong, When Will I Begin, Keep on Smiling, Do I Look Worried, That Did It, Isaac Heavy Jam, Let Me Get By, and then DMSR to start the second set, the Prince cover, La Di Da, Little by Little, Last Night in the Rain, Liz Reed, which that's unexpected.
Yeah.
Pardon me. Midnight Harlem, Midnight Mine, Angel, Sugary, I Want More, Soul Sacrifice, and then we did the Sly medley, Sing a Simple Song, I Want to Take You Higher. That's a beast of a set. How long?
Yeah.
8:17 to 11:27. That's a long night of music. I mean,
yeah,
they had like a break in between sets, but still, that's a lot of music.
I was really happy to hear Elizabeth Reed. They never heard them do that one before.
Cool.
Yeah, definitely a fun time. Also, When Will I Begin?
Oh yeah.
That's one. I don't think they played that in like a couple years. So that was a really fun one to hear.
Right.
And I really like a lot of this stuff off of Science. That was when I first saw TTB at Lock-In in 2018. That was shortly before that album came out. So that was kind of the first stuff of theirs that I heard and got into.
I think they're just going to continue to have like a smorgasbord, but also a balance of kind of all their music for the rest of this year, along with the Deuces Wild covers and maybe some new covers as well. But I think we're going to get a little bit of everything. We're going to get a little I'm the Moon. We're going to get a little of the early stuff from Revelator and Made Up Mind, but also hopefully some Signs and Let It Get By. Like, I think we're going to get everything.
Mm-hmm.
Which is cool.
Yeah, it's pretty even split from the albums. 3, 2.
I think that's another that's definitely another thing that's cross-checked or whatever, or quality control checked, like what of our albums are represented, like and I can't even remember to like look at all the every parameter potentially for the set list, but that definitely comes into play, like what the albums. I remember for the Beacon 50, the show, I think they started with one song from Revelator, then one song from Made Up Mind, and then one song from Let Me Get By, and then one song from Signs. And I think maybe they went into like I Am the Moon. They played almost the first 2 or the first album, like straight through, something like that. So that was kind of cool. They gave us like a chronology, a history lesson, even, or what's the word? A look back, a review of
A retrospective.
There you go. That's
There
the
you
word.
go.
That's the word. I think that was the word I was looking for. A musical retrospective.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can just appreciate this band on so many different levels, which is interesting. Like you don't need to know that those 4 songs were all from this album and all the chronology, but you can and you might, and if you do, like you do appreciate it that much
Sure.
deeper. It's more meaningful.
Mm-hmm.
The more knowledge you have about the history, and that's part of this band is that they, respect history of music and
Definitely. I feel like I've a lot of music I've been introduced and exposed through TTB, playing their songs. Like I'd listened to a little bit of Clapton, but I definitely have listened to a lot more Clapton since getting into TTB, for sure.
Yeah, and that's the great thing about them is that like the music they play, like, and the music that they cover, and the people that open for them and that they open for, it's not necessarily always the most popular world-renowned artists, but sometimes it is like huge artists they're covering, these epic classic Clapton songs, but sometimes they are doing like more obscure stuff, and you're learning more.
Yeah.
Like, where are you gonna hear like Mr. Clean and some of these random instrumental stuff? Like you're getting exposed to new songs, but you're also getting new artists and obscure artists, but you're also getting, maybe pushed to listen to more popular music that you never even got around to. So you're getting all kinds of music.
Yeah. And when
It's
I
all about
first
the music.
started following the band, it was they were doing a lot of like Delaney and Bonnie covers. So like, of course, I had heard of them, but I never really did a deep dive after hearing them do,
Coming Home or something.
Yeah, Coming Home, and then I just kind of went in and like did a deep dive, and then obviously love them. So I love when they do a cover that it just inspires me to go look up that artist and kind of just really dig into it and see where they're calling from. It's cool.
Yep. No, that's why I'll never run out of things to talk about, and I think that's what keeps this band going. Like I guess I never didn't think about it much, but like who knew that this band was going to give us 5 original albums and still be a thing, 15 years later, especially a 12-piece that's gone under some lineup changes and a lot can happen to a band to make it not work out.
Right. Yeah. And then when the world shut down, they kept going. So
yeah.
But it's such a go on.
There was an interview with Derek where he mentioned that too. They actually weren't sure if they were going to keep going when Kofi died. They said there were a lot of things with the band that they were kind of considering taking a long break, and then the COVID shut down them going to the place Passaquan and recording music again kind of revived them, and that's era we're all enjoying now with them.
Yeah, I think besides even the external obstacles that the band and Derek and they all face, I think even like the internal journey, like being in Tedeschi Trucks band, I think that's what sustains them. The musical journey, the internal journey, because Tedeschi Trucks is such a big band that covers so much kind of music. I think that can sustain Derek and Susan, where they're not necessarily like, obviously they can take on side projects and record with others and do other things and they take a break or whatever. But I think for the most part, being in Tedeschi Trucks band pretty much like fulfills them musically, I'd guess, for the most part, because it's such an opportunity to cover all these different styles. Like, it's not a problem if you want to do a song that has a lot of horns. It's not a problem if you want to do a song that has an amazing, blues guitar. So like whatever it is, like we got the horses in this band to do it. So
if you
members are less likely to want to leave.
Right. Yeah. I never would have guessed they'd be doing Led Zeppelin covers.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Well, Adam, your interview with Gabe Dixon, he talked about that specifically, where he said that he felt like that's why he's still in the band, because at first he was kind of just filling in for Kofi, but he felt like they give him the freedom where he's writing songs and in the performance too. I mean, it's the Tedeschi Trucks band, but they give all of the members like a chance to shine. You know, and as much as you can when there's 12 people on the stage. You can't. My wife and I were talking right after the show on Saturday how like we kind of wish that we would hear Mark take the lead more often because he's always so great on Made Up Mind. And
sure,
I wish I knew, but you know, it's like there's just so many phenomenal musicians on that stage that it seems like. But I think they do as good of a job as you can expect of kind of letting everybody shine, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
we need a Fire and Rain encore, or bring back Fire and Rain.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
someone from the band is listening to this and is like, oh shit, we got to bring back that now too, or whatever. Not because they want to make me happy, but just because like it's just another one that maybe they forgot about. Mark probably has not forgot about it though.
Yeah,
if you're the lead, getting a lead vocal and coming down from the platform for that one. It's cool to see. I do like that one. Yeah, so much good music, so much good stuff around. Anything else we want to cover or talk about? Any of these shows, the music, whatever experiences?
I mean, we got the live streams, the Capitol Theater to look forward to. Definitely checking those out. I was planning to go to one of those shows, but you know they're weeknights, and I live right outside of Philadelphia, so it's a bit of a hike to get to Port Chester. So we ended up doing the King's Theater instead, which I think was a good decision, but it's a bit of a bummer, you know, especially knowing that Gabe is going to be doing the after party at the club they have next door, Garcia's. So, and that was the night we had tickets for. So
that's
that's
night one of the Cap or night two?
Night two, yeah.
Night two.
They were on a Tuesday and a Wednesday. It's like kind of.
So the Gabe Dixon after party is after the second night. So
yeah, I believe so. Yeah,
that's cool. Yeah, no, they haven't done any live stream at the Capitol Theater or anything like that, or any sort of.
So. No.
I mean, other than fan shot videos, there hasn't been any like professionally shot Capitol Theater TTB. So that'll be cool to see because
for sure
I posted that my informal poll, and this keeps coming up, but like the Cap Theater that's in the top 5-6 destination places, best places to see this band, as decided by all of you guys, the fans. So it's like, I'm definitely excited to even just see it on video. Like, I got to watch that live, or it's going to still be available for the next few hours after. I ask the same question every time.
I think it's there
like 24 hours, 48 hours.
Yeah.
Right.
Do you have a membership? I don't know. If it's different.
I have an account.
Okay.
I have an account. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
It's through the Swamp Family thing.
Yeah,
so I don't have like a Nugs.
Right.
But
I don't. I have a Nugs account, but not a subscription. But I have a Swamp Family, obviously, account and subscription.
Right.
But yeah, I think it's up. I remember these streams usually up for a few days after, in case I can't watch them both live. But I plan to.
Yeah.
Those are super fun.
Yeah, for sure.
Good stuff.
Nugs has really been stepping up.
Oh, did you want to tell me anything about the? We kind of talked about the gig on the Brandon's Bitter End gig a little bit.
Oh yeah, that was really fun. It was kind of that was a fun weekend. It almost reminded me of like a jazz fest kind of week where because they were there for so long, then they're doing these little side shows afterwards, and it was cool to see them at the Bitter End. Definitely more like obviously. Like jazz focused, it's fun just watching Brandon like lead the band with a lot of guys he knows from Atlanta. I think his brother was playing drums, and
cool.
What's funny is that sometimes like I actually listened to it last night, almost all of that set. Someone did record it. I should give them credit for it. And sometimes like I can't necessarily always do work when I'm listening to Tedeschi Trucks or do anything like focus because I'm too distracted by the music because it's too awesome. I want that to be the center of my attention. But there was something I did like about putting on this set last night, and like I'm doing some work, I'm chilling out, I got a little vibe going here. It's late at night. The jazz kind of like hit perfectly. It's kind of what I needed. I liked that it was like a sort of a departure from Tedeschi Trucks and that stuff, but also it does make it special knowing that that's Alicia and Kebby and Brandon, and you hear the flute and all these different Gabe coming out. Like
Gabe coming out,
you got enough B of the TTB.
You're right, yeah. And it was definitely it was a 10:30 p.m. start time set in the West Village. Like it was like that's the vibe for sure. That music was the vibe at that time, so that was cool.
Yeah,
and then we went to we saw Lettuce Saturday, Sunday at Brooklyn Bowl, and Alicia came and sat in with Lettuce for like 6 songs, I think at least.
This
it
past
was
Saturday,
cool.
so it was after the King's Theater show.
That was actually Sunday. She came on Sunday. Yeah, I was hoping that I used to go to Soul Live. Used to do the Bowl Live at the Brooklyn Bowl at the same time.
I saw them open for TTB at Vegas. Brooklyn
nice.
Bowl.
Yeah,
At Vegas Brooklyn Bowl.
Yeah, it was during the same time they would do it in March when Allman Brothers would do the Beacon Run in March. So it was always cool that Soul Live would do a late night third set. It would start like at midnight, and there was always a buzz in the air, like Warren and Derek are gonna come, and like they're in Manhattan right now, just finishing a show, but they would get a cab and bolt down there and do like the last few songs. So I was kind of hoping, since they're both in Brooklyn, I was like, fingers crossed, they might just pop over late. No, but at least she came on Sunday. Yeah, on Sunday she came, and I saw Brandon in the wings too. He was there hanging out, so it was cool.
But they all you said the whole band came by the Bitter End gig on the other night.
They did, yeah. Derek and Susan popped in. Obviously, Gabe was there. Kevy, Brandon, Alicia were playing. Yeah, so it was cool. This Susan's guitar tech, I forget his name. Is it Chris?
Ryan
Murphy. Yeah, Ryan Murphy. Yeah, so it was cool. Like whole family almost was there. Brandon's family was there. I met his mom and dad. It was cool. Yeah,
nice.
Cool. Yeah,
it's all one big
right?
family. That's such a cool experience, and like everyone's for the most part very respectful. The fans and the band,
for sure.
I think people get it, and that's I guess that's why the band is still willing to be out there and be amongst the people as much as they are, is because the fans are definitely pretty cool people in general. You get some bad apples in any community. For the most part, like we're lucky that we have this kind of access. Like most people's favorite bands, you don't get to necessarily hang out with them at these fun gigs and just chill and whatever.
Right. And it was cool to see 3 different venues that week for 3 very different experiences and different bands, but we would see fans at every single show, like, hey, like I recognize you from last night at the Beacon, and just seeing them pop up everywhere. It was it's a cool family vibe. Yeah.
And for sure. And just knowing that you're seeing these people at all these shows, you look at them and you're like, oh, you have good music taste. Oh, oh, you have some kind of, not even that, but like more like you have some level of knowledge about TTB that like we connect. Like there's some kind of likely to be an instantaneous connection.
You get it.
Yeah, you're already cool a little bit. Yeah, you're already cool.
Go to multiple shows, as many as you can. You definitely, you can hear it. You can hear that.
Cool, good stuff. Anything else? Anything else we want to mention or cover?
Nope, you said that you're talking about how they're planning to take a little bit of a break early next year. There's not any shows coming up. And then what is the only thing they have scheduled? The Sun, Sand, and Soul festival in May.
I'm not sure.
I think that might be the only thing they have on the books for next year, though, right?
Yeah, I think it is.
Cool.
What am I going to do? No, I'm just kidding. What do we do? Archive.org is what we do.
There you go. Yeah.
YouTube.com. Listen to these albums behind me.
Maybe Mike Madison will do some solo shows. I'd really like to see him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we got to get some.
He lives in Atlanta, right? I think so. I think that.
Minnesota. I don't know if he lives. I'm not sure where he lives. Maybe he still lives in Minnesota.
David Flam was telling me that, right?
I know there's some. I know Brandon lives in Atlanta, and Kevy is based in Atlanta.
I think Ephraim does too. Maybe.
I think Ephraim's in Austin.
Oh, okay, sure.
It's a cool backstage shot.
Nice.
Yeah, I noticed that Susan at the second night at the King's Theater, she changed to that red dress for the second set.
Yeah, it was Saturday night. No.
Yeah, it's like get ready to dance, get ready to party.
She's a high maintenance pop star now. cool shot.
Yeah, I really would suggest the King's Theater to anybody. If you ever get a chance to see a show there, it's just an absolutely beautiful theater. It's a really, really nice place. Every inch of the place was just gorgeous, and
nice.
We had a great time. It also was not that big. I kind of thought it was going to be a bit bigger than it was. I mean, we got the very back row of the balcony, right? Because we wanted to be able to stand and dance and have a good time. And I thought we were going to be much farther from the stage, but it was nice. It was a nice view. The sound, I did hear some people complaining about the sound on the floor, which surprised me because I thought the sound was like pristine up in the balcony. It was perfect.
Oh, nice. That's awesome.
Yeah, but really nice place. I'd love to go back there.
Cool. Yeah, it would look like it was just the orchestra floor and then just like one balcony, right?
Yeah, just one balcony up there. Yeah.
Nice.
This is it. This is not TTB, but I pulled up a picture.
Sure.
Is that it?
Yes, yeah. And I recognize the spiral columns right there. Yeah.
Cool.
Nice.
So this one, I don't know anything about this place. Is this new? Is this old?
I did look it up, and it was, I think, first opened in 1929, and
Okay.
like the story with a lot of these old theaters, like it
Renovated.
Closed down for decades and was
77.
just abandoned for a while, and then they reopened it and renovated it, and it's beautiful. I love seeing them at all of these old theaters. Seeing any show you can, but especially seeing a band like TTB.
Yeah, I would assume this is an old theater just because all this details. There is no architecture like this anymore. Everything is boring and dull and angular, and there's no beauty. There's no imagination in our. For whatever reason, that's a different conversation. Though I think that we can get into.
It reminded me of I was talking to my wife about. I was like, it reminded me of the Vatican when I was there. With the intricate patterns all over the walls and everything.
Cool.
I don't know if it's carved or how exactly it's done, but
we have an amazing. Beautiful. We live in an amazing modern world with so much technology at our disposal and so much amazing things that we could do. And ingenuity available to us. Yet theaters like this were built 100 years ago, and they aren't built like this anymore. Things started look like this back in the day, but they don't look like this anymore. They look like this in ancient, medieval, whatever Europe, but in America, it's just a bunch of square, rectangular buildings. Anyway, on that note,
how did they build the pyramids?
Right. Well, I can get into that too. What up, guys? First time listening, enjoying some TTB chat. Thanks. Comment from Christopher. Thank you for the support. Glad you're enjoying. They built the pyramids with sound. They used vibrations to move all those things. They had thousands and thousands of people. You know how your speaker sometimes moves little USB speakers vibrating because of the sound. Mm-hmm. They moved it. They lift those bricks with sound, or aliens, or slaves, or all the above.
It had to have been aliens,
right?
Yeah, it's always aliens, right? Anyway, before I get booted off YouTube for floating all kinds of theories, I will say thank you to you guys. I appreciate the stories and the recaps for sure. I gotta get what do we got? Cap coming up. I gotta get something cooking for that one too.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Let's see here. Is that the next shows? Oh, we got Boston. Excuse me, Boston
cool.
first, and then the cap. Yeah, I'll do recaps for those 6th or 7th. Maybe do all these New England shows, but I'll let you guys enjoy the rest of your evenings. A little later on the East Coast, or you're in Central Time, but a little later nonetheless.
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Thanks so much for having me on, Adam. Always
thank
a pleasure.
You. Appreciate
Andrew,
it, guys.
Nice
Appreciate
to meet you.
Nice to meet you, man.
Yeah. Yep. Have a good night.
Take it easy, guys.
Later.
Fun. Peace. So there you go. What was that? Episode 174, talking TTB and at the Beacon Theater and King's Theater and Brooklyn with Andrew and Daniel. Sorry, Randy couldn't get it working. I hope his son won the Little League, his Little League game as well. And I hope that everyone is doing okay out there. It's at Tedeschi Trucks Podcast on Instagram. Please subscribe on whatever platform you listen to podcasts on. I'll get an audio version of this episode out soon for sure. Definitely subscribe on YouTube. Patreon.com/TTB podcast. please support me and the show. That's definitely appreciated. patreon.com/TTB podcast. Tedeschi Trucks Podcast.com for everything related to the show. AdamChoik.com for everything else that I'm working on. Tedeschi Trucks Band.com is their official website. Definitely check that out. Buy tickets to shows while the band is still touring. They're going to be taking a break soon, so definitely want to check shows out while you can. Buy merch. Join the Swamp Family Fan Club. Download the app. What else we got? I think that's pretty much it. Thank you to the band, the fans, podcast supporters, guests, Patreon supporters. I'll definitely get the New England link up for the YouTube link for that recap and cook something up for that one, for those 4 shows. But I think that's pretty much all I got for today. Thank you for listening, everyone. Thank you, Mark's gas station here in the chats. Peace. Thanks, Adam, he says. Appreciate you. But I think that's pretty much all I got for today. Yeah, let's talk soon. Peace.